job. Nice job, Ian. Yes. Nice job, Ian. Hi, everybody. Welcome to BT. Ian, you look better as a panda bear. You were plant last week. Nice look for you. Yes. Looks like you're coming out of he was zapped back to human. Mr. Anthony Taormina. Hello. Hello.
An apple?
Yeah.
You made me an apple?
Yes, I did.
What type of person are you?
I'm a better person than people think.
You're a joke.
I'm not a joke. I'm a winner.
You are a joke.
I'm a winner.
I'm curious what the crowd reaction would be of you right now for all your deplorable.
I was deplorable.
Even though our ratings did very well last week because of you made me an apple and him an orange and eventually a plant.
Hey, he's a panda bear this week. See? He's a panda bear.
Oh, when Ian gets better, you are in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk sports this week. A lot going on in the sports world. Conference tournaments are going on right now as we speak. The Horizon League tournament's going on. The Summit League tournament's going on. The Big Ten tournament's coming up. Also, we got a situation. We'll discuss that later. Also, let's talk about something that's going on in Dominican Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the Miami Dolphins for, was it 114?
6 years, 614 million.
Mm-hmm. Yes, with
60 guaranteed.
Yes. What's your take on that?
He wanted to get paid. He's the guy that wants to get paid. You know, to be one of the best defensive tackles instead of he takes his talents to South Beach, and it's because of the situation. When you look at Sue, you look at, it looked like, well, the difference in Florida, there's no income tax.
Yes.
You know? But for him to leave a good situation and go to South Beach where you're having to deal with New England twice a year, the Buffalo Bills twice a year, you know.
New York Jets.
The New York Jets twice a year. It's not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, if he wanted to leave, I told you he'd be gone. Now he's gone. And now the Lions are left hanging in the bag here because of what the Dominican Sue did.
Do you think that the Lions may be better off without Sue?
No.
Why?
Because he gives you a defensive presence that would have helped you out in the next 3-4 seasons. You know, he is a rare defensive talent. And to see him leave is very disappointing because, you know, he could do things on his own that he can't do. Nobody can ever equip, you know what I mean? And now he's leaving this team to go down south to play for the Miami Dolphins. And it's an unfortunate situation for the Lions that he was left hanging he was left
hanging out to dry.
No, sorry. He left a good situation to go to a team that is not very good. You know, he just left himself hanging out to dry from a Super Bowl ring.
But the Dolphins have been 500, 8-8, 8-8, possibly 9-7.
They're not as good as you think. You know what I mean?
No, I know that.
They just lost a couple players. I know that. And then you bring in a guy. I mean, this is a huge hole in the Lions' defensive line. You know what I mean? Now, the next could fall is Nick Fairley. You know, I don't know if he'll resign. But this is a team that
you can't overpay.
I think Miami overpaid for Sue.
Yes.
I think the Lions' offer was right here in this case. But, you know, they offered him 5 years and $108 million. But I guess he wanted that extra year and more money to come back and play for a team I don't think is going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
So you don't expect Miami to go anywhere. You don't expect Miami to go.
Now with New England and Buffalo making moves, Buffalo made some moves. They remember Sean McCoy coming over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think if you look at the situation right now, I think Buffalo's a better team now. Everybody knows New England's going to stay there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going to happen is Buffalo. I think they're the second best team in the division right now.
Mm-hmm. You still think New England's the class of the?
Yes, right now. Right now.
If anything, how will it? Do you well, you look at now. The Lions got all this cap space.
$17 million.
They got some pretty good. They got some good cap space right now. Does the Lions make a move in the draft, or does the Lions make a move to get another big name?
I think the Lions make a move in the draft to draft a defensive lineman. There are some defensive tackles out there that are going to be good players. I don't necessarily think the Lions need a veteran defensive tackle right away, but they don't come cheap. And I think you can draft a defensive tackle, you know, to fill that void right away, you know. And this team also needs a running back, also maybe because you got Theo Riddick, who I think could take over Reggie Bush's role, and you got Drake Bell, who's the power back. So I think you're set at running back. And I think if you want to pay you can get a defensive tackle in the draft. I think it'll be much better. It'll be a much cheaper option if you're.
Do you think it's possible to sign fairly or at a cheaper rate?
I think he's got a lot to prove. You know what I mean? I think he's got to lose some weight. Remember, there's not a lot of people. There's nobody in that 2010 draft class. Everybody's gone. So it's a bad situation for the Lions. It's going to hurt the city, but, you know, even Calvin Johnson offered a restructured contract, but there's nothing he can do about it.
But at the end of the day, the Lions still have Stafford. They still got Calvin Johnson. I mean, it's not...
Well, you don't know what Stafford is. You don't know how accurate he is as a passer.
Right.
You know?
So, but do you think the Lions should be happy that Sue's gone, or should the Lions be upset that Sue's gone?
I think you should be upset Sue's gone because he ended up taking the green instead of the hometown discount. You know what I mean? Instead of being loyal to a city that has made you, he ended up taking greener pastures and took his talents to South Beach.
I think the other way. I think the Lions are going to be happy that he's gone. He didn't want to be here in Detroit. So I mean, if he didn't want to be here in Detroit, you know, you can't blame a guy for not wanting to be here. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, he wanted more money. If he didn't want to be here in Detroit, you know, what's the point of him not being happy? So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? This could help the Lions. This could hinder the Lions. We'll have to see.
Well, I know Aaron Rodgers must be really happy he's not there anymore. I mean, I'll bet you Jay Cutler is happy he's not there anymore, depending if he's the quarterback. Or Teddy Bridgewater's also happy because they don't have to deal with Sue. I mean, what Sue gives you is that physical presence inside.
But Tom Brady now's got to deal with him more.
Yes, but here's the thing, is that the question is can this Lions team pressure the quarterback? And right now, with the loss of Sue, the Lions' pass rush is not to be feared. You know what I mean? Right now, there's nobody, especially in that middle, that scares me right now. There's nobody, and that Sue would have gave him that role, and he's not there anymore.
We'll have to see what happens in the draft. I'm not even going to speak to the Panda Bear.
Ian, what do you think? You think the Lions are going to be a disaster? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes. Both agree on something. And we both agree the Kansas City Royals are going to win the AL Central again. Yes.
Let's go to break.
Hey kids, this is your old pal, the Easter Bunny, inviting you to hop on over to the Orion Center on Saturday, March 21st for the 2015 Bunny Bop. Bring a basket to hunt for eggs filled with candy and prizes and create fun craft projects. And of course, I'll be there for special photo opportunities. The family-friendly fun starts at 10 a.m. Pre-registration is required because space is limited. For more information, visit oriontownship.org or call 248-391-0304, extension 305. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back! Man, I don't like the Easter Bunny. Do you? He's a good rabbit. He's a good rabbit. Actually, Anthony called him out a couple times.
The Easter Bunny?
Yes.
I always knew that thing was real.
No wonder I called that thing out multiple times. Yeah, he exists.
My message to the Easter Bunny is this. Easter Bunny, if you come on our show, I don't know what will happen, but you've been called out multiple times. So Easter Bunny, here's your call out. Come on the show.
Wow. Man, he called an Easter Bunny. Ian looks good. He does.
Let's talk about the second subject that we have coming up here, about the conference tournaments that have started up. You got the Big Ten tournament coming up. What's your take about the Horizon League tournament and is going on right now, and then also the Summit League tournament first, or the Horizon League first?
I can't believe what happened in Oakland. Lost to UIC. 72-69.
Mm-hmm.
They were leading by 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. Oakland, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this expected. I didn't see this happen. UIC was not very good. Oakland beat them by 20 at least twice.
Mm-hmm.
And to see them lose like this, it's terrible.
Well, I mean, look at UIC was down 18 to Wright State on Tuesday. And UIC came back and won at home against Wright State. Then they went into Oakland. Then they came into to Valpo, and they got a good win on Oakland, but lost to Green Bay. Then you got on the upper side of it, Cleveland State beat Detroit. After Detroit beat Youngstown State, Valpo beat Cleveland State. Your final is Valparaiso versus Green Bay. Green Bay is the expected favorite in the Horizon League. Valparaiso's been the very most impressive in the Horizon League this season. What do you take on that matchup?
I like Green Bay to win this game because of the experience. Even though it's at Valparaiso, I just think the experience, Pierce Skikes, I think he's going to be the difference in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay's going to be a huge difference in that game. I just think because
But Valpo's is much more deeper inside.
They're more deeper inside, but I just think in the end of the day, I just think Green Bay is going to find a way to beat Valpo again.
You think so?
Yes.
Even though the game's at Valpo?
Even though the game's at Valpo.
Even though the last time that both teams met, Valpo beat Green Bay at home.
Mm-hmm.
In Valpo even went into Green Bay and Green Bay beat Valpo at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you look at it, it's a very interesting matchup. Do you see 4 teams in the Horizon League making postseason tournaments?
I can see 3 for sure. I'm not sure about the 4th. I think Oakland did not do itself any favors losing.
You are aware that there's a lot of rumors going around. Oakland is in the CIT, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually confirmed on the website that Oakland did make the CIT, and it's actually hosting a home game in the CIT.
Okay.
So do you think there's 4 or 3 with this recent report?
I think there's still 3 because...
You don't think Cleveland State's going to make a postseason tournament?
I take it back 4. You know what I think 4 because I think Cleveland State would make the CBI.
You think so?
So
the way you're looking at it, you've got Green Bay winning it.
I got Green Bay winning it, Valpo in the NIT,
Cleveland State,
CBI, Oakland CIT.
Good Horizon League representation.
Mm-hmm.
Summit League. There's 4 there like the Horizon. Well, there's 5 teams that actually have 16 wins. There's 2 matchups tonight in the Horizon or in the Summit League. You've got South Dakota State, the number 1 seed, playing South Dakota tonight. Then you've got Oral Roberts playing North Dakota State. I was watching the Oral Roberts IUPUI game last night, and always enjoyed those 2 playing because they were 2 big rivals of Oakland back in the day. What's your take about the Summit League today compared to back then? The Summit, it seems to me that there's a lot more power with South Dakota's with the South Dakota schools.
Well, I guess that's what the Summit League is put, is basically around South Dakota. And
South Dakota State.
South Dakota and South Dakota State, especially like the state of South Dakota. When you look at the Summit League right now, I think Oral Roberts has got some experience, you know what I mean? But South Dakota State, I feel like, is the team to beat right now in that league.
Even over North Dakota State?
Even over North Dakota State, because I still think, North Dakota State's got a lot to prove, right now. But I still think, South Dakota State, they won the conference they won the conference season, the regular season. It wouldn't surprise me to win the conference tournament.
So how many teams from the Summit League do you think go into postseason tournaments?
3.
3? That's it?
Well, actually 4.
4? I would say 5, but okay.
But I think one of those teams are going to get snubbed. Remember IUPUI got snubbed a couple of years ago, and they won 20 games. Yeah, so I just think it's 4 teams are going to make that tournament, but maybe even 3, because there's maybe be 2 teams that might get snubbed from the Summit League. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I think that interesting, because I kind of will disagree with that, because you look at IPFW has 16 wins. South Dakota's doing pretty well themselves, even though South Dakota beat IPFW. Oral Roberts has a chance to make it, probably a CIT invite. North Dakota State and South Dakota State both have 21 wins, but South Dakota State was a higher seed. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in the Summit League tournament. That's one tournament, like the Horizon League tournament, I'm excited for. Obviously, I have connections with the Summit League tournament. Some memories there that go back there with...
You've won 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, I've won 2 of them with Oakland. The last one I want to talk about, or there's a couple other ones I want to talk about. Belmont won the Ohio Valley, beating Murray State. Does Murray State still get in the NCAA tournament as an at-large, despite being number 25th in the country?
No.
Why?
Because they didn't win their conference tournament. Their RPI is not as strong as you think. You look at Murray State should be in the NIT.
NIT?
They won their regular season, didn't they?
Right.
They're in the NIT. Belmont ends up going to the dance. I think Murray State gets a high seed, but I think they're going to be in the NIT.
You think that they're going to be in the NIT?
I'd be very shocked if they go to the NCAA tournament as an at-large.
It'd be nice to see Murray State go to the NCAA tournament, but we'll see. Now, big tournament this weekend is the Big Ten tournament. What's your take on the Big Ten tournament?
When I look at it here, I'm surprised Purdue got a double bye, Michigan State's got a double bye, Maryland's got a double bye, and Wisconsin's got a double bye.
Okay.
I think it's going to be an interesting tournament because you got Michigan State, I think, Michigan State's an interesting team, the way they've been playing. I think Purdue's an interesting team, but the bubble is Illinois and Indiana. Those 2 teams are on the bubble right now.
They have to win.
They have to win. They have to win. I think more pressure's on Indiana than on Illinois. I still think Illinois needs to win at least 2 games in the conference tournament to get into the dance.
How many does Indiana have to win?
3.
You think Indiana has to win 3 and Illinois has to win 2?
Yes.
Why are you saying there's more pressure on Illinois if Indiana has to win 3?
Well, because Indiana, Tom Crean's been on the hot
I know that.
Seat, over in Bloomington. I think personally that Indiana needs to win at least 3 games because there's so much pressure on Indiana as a basketball power to win. They lost to Purdue twice. They lost to Michigan State twice. I mean, this is a team I think that clearly the best Big Ten team's Wisconsin. But
yeah, that's clear.
But they just don't have the resume right now.
Well, Wisconsin. Do you think Wisconsin wins the tournament?
No. Maryland.
Maryland.
I like Maryland.
Interesting.
Because they got a couple hometown people. Richard Pack played at Seahome.
Yes.
Evan Spotrich, I think, is going to be a difference maker in that tournament. I think Maryland, the way they're playing right now, and they beat Wisconsin, let's not forget, at College Park. So I think Maryland right now, first year in the Big Ten, will win the Big Ten tournament. The women did it the other night. I think they're going to do it in the men.
Isn't the Big Ten still in Indy, isn't it?
It's in Chicago.
Oh, it's in Chicago. Interesting. I'm very curious to see how Michigan State does, and I'm curious how Michigan will do. Do you think Michigan is NIT or NCAA tournament?
Michigan, none.
You don't think they make it?
They don't make it. They're 15-15 right now. They're done.
And they've already said they won't consider CBI CRT.
Right. They're done.
That's a shame.
Done. Do you think so? Do you think so, Ian? You don't? What? You think you're going to be in the NIT? What are you? Ah! What are you? Ian, you nincompoop. Yeah.
Are you done talking to an imaginary bear?
That's Ian. This is really Ian. This is Ian. Ian Albert Weatherspoon.
We'll be right back between Taorminas. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Hello, Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina here, talking a new show here called OA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OA Now on ONTV. Welcome back, everybody, to Between Taorminas. Yes, I believe in the Kansas City Royals are going to win the AL Central.
You do? I agree with you.
Yes. You agree?
Yes.
I don't think Ian would honestly agree.
No, he agrees with me. Yes, he does.
I don't think so.
Yes, he does.
All right, let's talk about something that is very dear to both of us, is the Lake Orion Dragons. The boys basketball team has districts coming up. Pulled off they've won the 3 out of 4 games, and they've been very. Then the one game they lost, they were very competitive. They went into Oak Park, a team that was one of the favorites to win the OAA White, and ended up upsetting them, and it was not even close. What was your feelings about going into first that game, and
First
then
of all,
previewing the district?
I'm still shocked over that game. You know what I mean? The way that this team played, they won by 16. They ended up dominating the game basically in the third quarter. It was 29 in the third quarter. You know, when you look at it here, I look at Taylor. It's been a long season, but also you got to look at the Oak Park's problems too.
Right.
Of course, you know, with Kevon Fuller going to Pershing, also the Brian Tipton academics cheating scandal over there at Oak Park. I just think that the combination of those problems and also Lake Orion playing loose really won them that game at Oak Park.
So you think it was much more of nothing to lose going into playing a very, playing with nothing to lose, the loose feeling going into that.
Yes.
So you feel that they didn't have to play tight.
I felt they didn't have to play tight. You know what I mean? And they ended up playing loose. David Gomez played well in that game. Noah Harris played well in that game. Nick Fox and Pim Herkman's outplayed Rodney Scales, I thought. Of course, Rodney Scales going to a Division I school somewhere. He should be going to a D1 school somewhere. Also, they shut down Devin Mills, who was with Ferndale transfer. He's got some trouble academically, but he's not a bad player, you know. And they shut down Mario Garrett as well.
Right. Obviously, very impressive outing for the Lake Orion boys basketball team, beating Romeo, beating Oak Park. Now you have districts coming up. You have we had gotten some updates before we came on the show today. It looks more and more like Lake Orion will play Rochester Adams. Earlier in the year, Lake Orion and Adams played in December. Adams ended up winning the game in overtime. What do you see differently that maybe will be different from the first matchup?
You know, the key in this game, remember, Lake Orion's got no Jalen Wiggins in this game. But also the difference here in this game is can the Dragons stop Joy Zenny and Spencer Littleson? That's going to be the
Both
key.
juniors.
Both of them are juniors. You know, Adams has played a much more tougher schedule than but Lake Orion's played a ridiculously tough schedule.
Both teams have
Both teams play tough schedules. But, you know, the key, I think, is can the Dragons handle Rochester Adams' pressure defense? Because if Lake Orion can handle, and I know their defensive coach very well, he's going to put a lot of pressure on the guards.
Right.
You know, it showed in this year's meeting, you know, Lake Orion handled the pressure very well. They end up coming back in that game. I think the key to that game is Chris Dudek. If Dudek can play like he did in that fourth quarter of that Adams game, that forced it to overtime, then I think Lake Orion's got a chance to pull off a huge, huge win at Clarkston.
It'll be very, very interesting to see, especially with both the we both were there in December. We watched how both the teams played, and it's been remarkable how both teams have went through this type of season. Both teams have had some good wins. Both teams have had some tough losses. They're both, for the fair share, pretty young.
I think both teams are young.
Both teams are young. I don't think this is the year for both teams.
No.
The favorites, Clarkston.
Right.
Because Clarkston's 20-0, undefeated.
Yep. They're deep. They could be a state title contender. A lot of people have been saying about it. But I just don't think Clarkston matched up well with Macomb Dakota at all.
It'll be a very interesting district. So we'll have to see. Obviously, that'd be Wednesday at 5:30 at Clarkston.
Right.
Looking more and more like it'll be Lake Orion and Adams. So we'll see how that goes. The girls' basketball season, it came to an end last Wednesday. The girls lost to Adams, but had a very successful season, 13-8. 13-8, and may see some good things in the horizon. But you got to credit the senior class. The senior class, just like the class 2 years ago, started.
You got to credit,
special.
what they did. You know what I mean? They won some games. You know what I mean? Like, beating Blue Bay Hills twice was huge for this group. Winning at Seaholm was huge for this group. Winning over Linden was huge. When you look at the games that they played, they still have that problem of not winning the big game. They should have won the Clarkson game. Right. Had not been for Davenport taking over that fourth quarter. But I just think personally that this is a junior lane team. You know what I mean? You got a lot of hope, a lot of promise, but it really starts with that crew 2 years ago. When you had Nicole Cryer, you had Melanie Gagan, and
now you had the five.
Now you have the five. You Luz Hannah Hamay, Jenna Zawinski, Sarah Voss, Blair Stewart, and Alex Carpenter. Then it's kind of a building. It's kind of like a building block. You know what I mean? I know Dragon coach Steve Roberts called it a building block season. You know what I mean? Like going up. You know what I mean? This team's on the way up, but I would like to see this team maybe accelerate those steps, especially heading into next year. Especially what I've been hearing about the OA White next year. It could be Dragons' year next year.
All right. Well, Sammy, you have any final thoughts?
Ian, do you have any final thoughts? This is the best show ever. Yes. Well, let's hope you get surgery soon, and you'll come back even better than ever, and needing hope of a re-educational marks of life. And you always know the Dallas Stars are a great team. You know that? I do.
How do you live with yourself?
I do live with myself. I'm a happy person. Ian knows he's a happy person. Look, he's even got a smiling face. And he thinks the Kansas City Royals are going to win the World Series. And he thinks the Kansas City Royals are going to win the
Good night between Taorminas. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.